Here Monday, I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, the number of positive coronavirus tests here in Montana is now nearing the 300 mark. In fact, 299 people have officially contracted the illness in Montana. 6 patients have died. Now, Gallatin County, the state's highest tally, adds another 6 since Sunday morning. Now with 116 positive tests, 88 of those individuals are under the age of 60. In Yellowstone County, the weekend brought 2 new cases, upping that total to 40, and Flathead County is third at 26. In Wyoming, as of this afternoon, the state now has 210 cases, still remains the only state in the entire country without a single reported death, and it's one of the only states without a stay-at-home order. Laramie, Teton, and Fremont counties still have the highest number of cases. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee says his state is returning more than 400 ventilators to the national stockpile so they can be sent to states that need them the most. Now, Inslee says weeks of a statewide stay-at-home order have brought down infection numbers and deaths in Washington. The first large outbreaks of the coronavirus started in Washington state, including one at a nursing home outside of Seattle. Most of the ventilators will now go to New York. Well, as COVID-19 restrictions have increased, podcast downloads have steadily decreased over the last month. Great Falls podcasters were noticing the same trend. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt has the story.
The smart folks have a blast. The Get It Factory.
Believe in the Get It Factory podcast has been streaming since 2018, sharing stories of successful men and women from Montana and beyond.
What's the pitch?
Yeah, so we're just really, I guess, a human interest-based show. So we love to interview people who have found success in one way or another.
Although national podcasts are trending downward, Believe in the Get It Factory was just renewed for a second season.
It brings a level of legitimacy, I think, that we didn't have before. We kind of always had to prove ourselves because I think podcasts kind of sometimes come with this idea of anybody can do it, because that's kind of the beauty of it, is anybody can do it.
Anybody can start a podcast, but not just anyone can keep one going during times like these. Except Ryan and Becky Acra.
We were prepared, and now people have time. So it's actually been an uptick for us in being able to book guests and kind of get things going.
The Great Falls podcasters have long relied on the technology that's now taking over the quarantined world.
Because we've tried to get started in a small Montana town, we've had to be creative and think outside of the box the whole time.
Being in Great Falls, it's not easy necessarily to get guests. So we've been using Zoom and Skype and FaceTime since we started.
Since they've managed to keep their podcast on air, their next goal is
to use this as an opportunity
to connect with their community.
I think at the end of the day, people need people. And so that, I think, is where this podcast can be really successful in a lot of different ways, is it just does that, it hits that connection piece that people are missing right now, locked up.
The human connection that transcends time, space, and even airwaves. In Great Falls, Lindsay Hyatt, MTN News.
Thanks so much, Lindsay. Now, the need for fast and sanitary deliveries has never been higher, with more than 80 million Americans ordered to stay at home. Employees at the UPS store in Great Falls say some of the biggest items shipped out of the Electric City lately are toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and diapers. Now, that's because the supplies are down in other cities. Store manager Jamie Christian says we are catering to all the people who are working from home, who need to send important documents and still need to keep their businesses going. According to the World Health Organization, COVID-19 cannot stay long on objects such as letters and packages. Well, right now, many Americans are choosing to buy groceries online, but not everyone has that option. Only 6 states allow people who use food stamps to shop online. 2 of them are part of a pilot program that gives SNAP recipients a debit-style benefit card. Many state governments are asking the Department of Agriculture to expand the program during this pandemic. Food security activists are also asking that the in-person interview needed to get food stamps be waived for right now. Well, every year, Special Olympic athletes prepare for the Summer Games, but since sports training has been canceled due to social distancing recommendations, Summer Games and training will look a bit different this year. In order to help maintain the athletes' physical and social health, Special Olympics Montana is encouraging Special Olympians to use viral training sessions to connect with their fellow teammates and keep up their healthy habits. As participants complete their virtual training, they will gear up for the Summer Games later this year that will focus on non-competitive sports. Now, the athletes can practice from the comfort of their homes. CEO of Special Olympics Montana, Rhonda McCarty, says these training sessions are an important tool to keep Special Olympians connected.
I think the topics we're able to talk about, are relevant to everybody right now. We all need to figure out how to stay healthy and in shape out of our normal routine. Those gym rats that we know, they're struggling right now. So they're able to join us and get some workout tips for how to do it in your living room. So I think it's really just applicable to everybody in our community, Special Olympics and beyond.
And the sessions are not just for those who are involved with Special Olympics. Training sessions are streamed on Facebook Tuesday and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Well, as many churches go virtual with their services, one Helena church is also adding sign language. Christine serves as a sign language interpreter for the Church of the Nazarene in Helena. For the last 3 weeks, the church has gone live on Facebook every Sunday with Christine providing sign language through the service. The pastor says bringing everyone together, including the deaf and hard of hearing community, is important during these times in a pandemic.
To endure. We got to endure. We'll get through it. And in the meantime, we'll just help each other out and endure this thing with faith and love. We'll get through. Everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay. Rob Griggs joining us now with some pretty okay weather.
Sure enough, yeah, and I agree. Everything is going to be okay. We've got a tough road to hoe right now, but we're pressing on, and that's really what we need to do. And the weather's going to cooperate, so we can do a little pressing on outside here for a change. That's kind of nice. Unless you're in Kalispell or Missoula, you might want to wear a jacket, take an umbrella. There's some showers out there right now. The further east you get, the more sunshine we have. We do have a couple of thunderstorms in our forecast. We'll be talking about that. Yesterday's high got into the 50s and 60s. Will be a little bit warmer out in eastern Montana. Right now, for example, in Billings, there's some clouds, but it's already warmed up to 56 degrees. And over in Helena right now, sunshine, clouds, and 57. We'll take a complete look at that statewide forecast in just a moment. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, we have more news ahead on your noon news, including the results of the Gaucho Derby. Well, if you haven't heard about this race, it's one you'll want to check out because the winner is from Montana. The time now is 12:07, but first, Rob's in next with your statewide weather forecast.